What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a brand new video. Now today you join me for another car review. As you can see, I have with me here the VW Golf 7 GTI Clubsport. Big thanks to Car Sales Exclusive. This car is for sale with them and it's actually in great condition. Full service history, 55,000 kilos and all of that. I'll leave the link to their Instagram down in the description below. Do check them out. I'll also leave Jay's details on screen right now. Now, I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the GTI Clubsport, what is it? Now, this car was made to celebrate 40 years of the GTI badge. In 2016, it was the 40th anniversary of the GTI branding. Now, it's more powerful, it's sharper in terms of handling, and it has better aero. Now, on the exterior, it has a more aggressive body kit, as you can see, lifted straight from the more aggressive Clubsport S. You have all these fins right here that help make the car more aggressive. You also have a front splitter down here. There are these scoops on either side to help cool the brakes. Typical red line GTI badge right there, also in red. There was two wheel choices available. This wheel choice and another 18-inch rim. I think this one is actually the 19 inches. Red brake calipers, typical GTI, and you still have that typical GTI badge on the side fender and all. On the front, from this view, it does look like a more aggressive Golf 7 GTI, which is what you want. You also get gloss black mirrors on the Clubsport. There is a Clubsport decal on the side letting you know what you're driving. There's also a huge roof spoiler, which does actually produce a bit of downforce. As you can see, it's more aggressive, it's protruding, and it does look cool. On the rear, you have slightly bigger tailpipes and a bit of a rear diffuser, which does add some significant downforce and all of that. And other than that, that's pretty much it on the exterior. Let's check out the interior. Okay, so the Clubsport interior, it's been spiced up to help differentiate it from the standard GTI. For one, you have an Alcantara wrapped steering wheel with a red 12 o'clock marker, red stitching all over the steering wheel. There are unique seats for the Clubsport, which are both cloth and Alcantara. They also have a unique white and red striping. You can also upgrade to more sportier bucket seats. You also have these seat belts with red lines on them, which do look cool. There is also a bit of a red flash on the gear lever, and other than that, everything else is pretty much the same as we come to expect. The same Golf, high quality. Everything feels very solid. Everything you interact with is just pretty high quality, and yeah, nothing more different from it. Let's actually check out the back seat. Guys, I'm literally not going to bore you with any of these details. As you can see, plenty of room back here, leg room, knee room. The Golf in general has always been one of the most class leading in terms of practicality and its class. So yeah, back here you still get the same materials, Alcantara and the cloth, the same striping and the same red marks on the seat belts. So yeah, spacious enough. Headroom as well is quite plentiful. So let's check out the boot space. Guys, like I mentioned earlier with the backseat room, this is still a Golf at the end of the day. Same applies to the boot space. 380 liters in boot capacity, and as you can see, very spacious. There is a huge loading lip on the Mark 7. Actually, this is an adjustable floor, I lie. So you can literally adjust the floor, and there is a much less loading lip. So yeah, quite nice. 380 liters. Like I said, there are these pockets on either side, and you also get a spare wheel, of course, and there is plenty of room down here. You can chuck in some extra stuff there. Very nice. Okay, so pricing on the Clubsport. Now, these were made for the 2016 and 2017 model year. Now, currently pricing ranges anywhere from 350,000 rands for very high mileage cars to around 500,000 rands for relatively low mileage cars. Like I mentioned, this one is a 2016, 55,000 kilometers, and it's going for 489,000 rands at car sales exclusive. Now, let's talk about all the engine stats. Okay, so the engine. Now, this is the infamous EA888. It's a 2-liter turbo 4-cylinder. In this case, making 195 kilowatts, which is around 261 horsepower and around 380 Newton meters of torque. Now, an interesting thing about the Clubsport, it actually has an overboost function. So for 10 seconds, you can get power up to 286 horsepower, which is around 213 kilowatts. But then after that 10 seconds, you have to wait another 10 seconds for the car to regenerate the boost function and all of that. But there are a couple of other upgrades on the Clubsport. For one, you have stiffer spring rates, about 10% stiffer. And also there is a free flow exhaust at the back. So this car sounds a lot better. There's also a revised chassis to help the car be more solid around corners and all of that, and a couple of other nitty-gritties and so on. But it's still dialed down so it doesn't sit above the R. So this car actually sits between the GTI Performance Pack and the Golf R. So a couple of the other upgrades I'll actually talk about while we're driving. With that being said, let's take a listen at the exhaust and experience how this car drives. So guys, you join me inside the GTI Clubsport. And yeah, let's experience what this car is like. So the Clubsport has the adaptive chassis as an optional extra, and also adaptive dampers. So you have the switchable driving modes, so you can switch between eco, comfort, normal and sport. But I'm going to drive in sport, not gonna waste any time driving in the normal modes and all, because a Clubsport is all about the driving experience. So let's give it a go now. And man, immediately that exhaust, that free flow exhaust just makes, oh man, this thing sounds incredible. Oh geez, it's actually quite powerful, eh? Like it pulls so strong. Jeez, man. Okay, another one of the mechanical upgrades are the Clubsport gets as standard the limited slip diff from the Performance GTI, so it helps manages power between the front wheels, so it can actually send 100% of the power to the outside wheel to help catapult you out of corners and all, driving in certain area and yeah, traffic and all. But hey, we soldier on. I'm actually gonna make a quick U-turn. Ooh, another thing I noticed, there's a very short steering wheel ratio. So it actually takes one full turn to lock either side, which is quite incredible. Oh geez, man, that exhaust is just incredible. It sounds exactly the same as the GTI TCR, which is based on the newer platform, the facelift 7.5. But man, this thing is quite sharp. It's just unfortunate that we don't have to our disposal some twisty roads. We're driving in typical Sandton area, and yeah, it doesn't really do the car justice. But another thing I noticed, it tends to break traction a lot. I don't know if it's just too powerful or, but I don't think it actually disengages traction in the sport mode. I think there's just a lot of power for the wheels to deal with. But man, this thing feels so solid. The steering wheel feels quite weighty compared to the standard Golfs, more especially because remember, I drive the Golf out of line on a day-to-day basis, so That's the first thing I noticed about this car. Gearbox, typical 6-speed DSG transmission that we are familiar with and love. Very sharp, very responsive. As soon as you touch the pedal, it gives you the next gear, which is quite incredible. Even downshifts, very responsive too in that department. Oh man, that exhaust. Having to focus a bit driving in traffic. But man, I feel like this is one of those cars that are actually quite underrated, and everyone has pretty much forgotten about the Clubsport, and man, it really does deliver. Just gonna drive on this back road for a bit. Gonna lower the windows for a bit so you guys can also hear the sound properly. There's a lot of echo this side. I think I'm gonna drop my window all the way actually. Oh man, this thing sounds incredible. Oh, I'm gonna do one pull here. Oh jeez. Oh man, this thing sounds insane. Goodness me. Another downshift. Ah. Wow. And the fact that this car offers so much value for money is just insane. This one in particular, like I mentioned, 55,000 kilometers on the clock and going for 489. So depreciation has hit a lot on these. Because I think brand new spec'd out, they were going for like 600,000 rand, somewhere there. It sounds so close to the Akrapovic 7.5R as well. Jeez, what a car, man. What a car. I think for now I'm gonna try to stay a bit quiet and just drive a bit, because I feel like something like this is all about the driving experience. So let me just drive. It's a bit windy as well. The brakes are actually not upgraded compared to the standard Golf 7 GTI, so still the same size brakes, but they still do a decent job at stopping this thing. So very confidence inspiring. You can really lean into the brakes, you can really go hard on them as well. It feels a lot more powerful than something like a standard 7.5 GTI, because that is what I'm used to. This is actually my first time driving the Clubsport or experiencing the Clubsport. I've also driven the standard Golf 7 GTI too, so compared to those cars, this thing feels miles ahead, literally miles ahead. Just pulls a lot harder than those cars. But yeah, that is the Golf 7 GTI Clubsport from me to you guys. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. And until next time, that's cheers from me.